Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Market Color. A happy new month to each and every one of us who are watching the Market Color for today. Today being June 1st, 2026, we're welcoming you all to a new month, and we're out of June. Welcome to the Market Value Flow Trading Market Color, brought to you by yours truly, the Value Flow Trading team. My name is CJ, and I'm going to be taking you on the market color. Together with me, we have Lekon, Cynthia, Abby, and Demola. And here on the market color, we're going to be sharing with you our thoughts and insights on the market. We're also going to be sharing with you the possible trades we're looking to take. And we're also finally going to be sharing with you where we think the market is heading to across major currency pairs, from gold to the US dollar to Australian dollar, US stock indices, and also synthetic indices. So wherever you're watching us from London to Tokyo to New York to Laos to Canada, welcome to the market column. We shall begin immediately as we take a quick run on our analysis on gold. Now, interestingly, gold has been making some serious moves in the past couple of days, especially towards the tail end of last week, when we saw the president of the US, President Trump, trying to make a compromise with Iran to end the long war that they've been having in the last couple of weeks now. And up to this point, we've not seen either of them make a possible compromise, but there are hints that we might come to one this week. So we're expecting something around that this week. And hence, we saw the move on gold yesterday, causing panic and fear in the market because everyone was uncertain. Now, what does that have to do with our analysis, and how does it affect our trades this morning? We are going to be expecting possible moves on gold to the upside, and we're seeing that already playing out, and we want to see seriously how we're going to make money from all of this. Now, gold has already made the first push to the upside, but then we also noticed that it was not able to break the structure of the daily time frame. It only broke structure of the 4-hour time frame, but daily time frame structure was not broken. And this is giving us a hint on what is possibly going to happen, because as we heard the news of a possible meeting, fears came up in the market, and then usually when there's fear or amid tensions in the market, we see gold rallying to the upside. But at this point, we saw that gold was not rallying to the upside. Instead, it rallied, and then it couldn't break this high right here. So at this point, we're expecting that a further sell on gold should ensue following the news release that we've been hearing lately. Now, couple of places rather, that I'm expecting gold to trade to. First is this level here after it broke the 4-hour structure. I'm expecting it to sell off all the way here. Then the second place I'm expecting it to get is to this level right here. And it's largely due to the box pattern that we have already. So I'm expecting gold to trade to either of these two levels. And that implies that I'll be selling gold this morning, and I'll be looking for an exit around either of these two locations. So for me this morning, my outlook on gold is bearish, and I expect it to play out so, following events that have been happening lately, and also reading the news. If you look at on my screen here, we have a news from investinglive.com, where US President Trump says he plans to sit back and relax, and it will all work out at the end. And this is the positive news, expecting that there might not be any further chaos, there might not be any further geopolitical tensions that would engineer gold to trade to the high side. So gold is resuming back to the sell trend that it has started a couple of weeks ago. So right now, I'm bearish on gold, and I will be waiting for an entry signature to take an entry to sell gold to the downside. Couple of places I want to sell from. First is this level here on the 5-minute time frame. You can see that we have a clear box structure right here. So I'm expecting price to maybe trade into this level, and then I'll be selling to the downside. So if that happens, then we'll have ourselves a sell trade from here, and then we'll be targeting all the way to the downside. Okay, so this is one of the entries that I'll be looking out for. Secondly, on any other given location around this particular range, I'll be expecting to see a bearish engulfing candle, or an evening star pattern, which would engineer a sell of gold to the downside. So either of these two would play out this morning, and I'll be taking advantage of them. So now I know what I'm waiting for, and I'll be expecting to see them play out on gold. So I'll take it to the downside. So my summary on gold this morning is that I'm bearish this morning, and these are the places I'll be looking to take a sell from, either from this other block right here, which is also the box pattern, or an engulfing candle or a variation pattern, which is more like an evening star pattern, and then I'll be taking my sell on gold. So that is that on gold. Now, if we move over to the Japanese yen basket, no strong news from the yen so far. So we've been seeing the yen resume a sell trade after the false bullish run that it had due to the Japanese intervention from the government buying back their bonds, trying to strengthen the currency. But then the currency is resuming to its original strength. And we can see that that strength is quite false, and we're heading further to the downside. So on the yen basket, I'm expecting further sells to the downside. Now, this implies that on currency pairs like Great British Pound against the yen, we're expecting to see further buys to the upside. Haven't gotten a very strong retracement a couple of weeks ago. We're expecting it to continue buying. So on GBP JPY, Euro JPY, USD JPY, I'm quite bearish at this time. So we'll be looking at a further buy on GBP JPY. You can see that it's already resuming its buy trend to the upside. So we're expecting the buys to continue in that light. Now for this morning, one of the places that I've been expecting GBP to sell to is right here. I'll be looking for a buy from this particular level on GBP. The moment price traps into this level here, we'll be expecting a buy, and we'll be riding it all the way upwards on JPY. So this is my expectation. And once price gets into this region right here, I'll be expecting an engulfing pattern or a morning star pattern, which would engineer a buyback to the upside. This place also coincides with the high of the Asian session, as you can see here, and also the high of Friday New York session. So I'm expecting JPY to trade into this region here and then be buying to the upside. This is my outlook on GBP it's a buy, and you're expecting it to buy from here. Okay, and then we'll be riding it all the way to the upside, targeting a minimum of 1:3, and we'll exit the trade. Same thing goes for Euro JPY. We're expecting a buy. If you look at it on the 1 hour time frame, you see that Euro JPY is also looking like a very strong buy this morning. I'm expecting price to give us an entry from the high of the Asian session, just around here, and then we'll be riding the buy back to the upside. So for Euro JPY, this is my own outlook as well as GBP JPY. So we're going to be looking for a buy from here, and then a stop loss is going to be somewhere around 15 pips, so that we can get enough when price is not moving as fast as we want, and then take profit 1:3, 1:4. I'm targeting this particular order block right here on the 4 hour time frame, on the 1 hour time frame rather. So around here is my target for the exit on Euro JPY. This gives us a 1:3 trade. So this is what we're looking out for on GBP JPY. We'll continue this analysis as we look at analysis from the US dollar index, GBP USD, and Euro USD. And to take us further on that, we have Cynthia standing by the side waiting for. So good morning, Cynthia. What do we have on US dollar this morning?
Good morning, CJ. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that very wonderful analysis. I hope you all had a good weekend and a very happy new month to you all. Right. So, I'd like to admonish us to kindly take note of every price point each and every trader calls out here, so that once price gets there, we can be right on time to take opportunities in the market. With that being said, let's head straight to the US dollar to see what price has for us this week. So on the weekly time frame, we've been looking at this price point for a long time. Although price is being caught up in a range, the most recent price action, but we want to see price breaking above into this left shoulder at 107.490. And on the daily time frame, what are we seeing price do? Price tapped into this left shoulder at 98.890, and we're seeing the push to the upside. Eventually, we should see price clearing out this liquidity residing right here, grabbing it right rather, and buying all the way to this other block at 102.924. We should see some reaction once price trades into this level. And on the 4-hour time frame, I'm expecting that price should sell off into 97.912 and gain strength from that level before buying all the way to the upside. Why am I saying that? There's the left shoulder residing right here, the classic box pattern that I'm expecting to see price trade into before gaining strength all the way to the upside. So my outlook for this week is for price to retrace right back into this level and buy off that point. So I'm looking out for a sell to buy, a sell into again 97.912 and a buy of that level all the way to the upside. So after establishing the facts that I'm looking out for sell opportunities before taking buy opportunities, where am I going to be selling from? I want to sell once price retraces into 99.368 on the 15 minutes time frame. Once price gets to that level, I want to short the XY. And of course, you know where we are shorting into, as I have kept on reiterating. So with that being said, I'm looking out for these opportunities on the XY. Let's head straight to GBP USD to see what price has for us. On the weekly time frame, of course, you know how it is. Price has been ranging for a period of time now. And of course, we expect a break below that range and for price to trade to 1.24683 on the daily time frame. Let's see what price has for us on daily time frame. As you can see, there's the classic box pattern right here that price tapped into, we traced into this level, right? And then we saw price reacting. So we should see price trading into this level again and selling all the way. The first point of taking profit for me will be once price clears this low at 1.31757, and my second point will be this low right here at 1.30001. So I'm still looking out for price to push back into this level before selling off all the way to the downside. On the 4-hour time frame, let's see what we're speculating or what price would do on the 4-hour time frame. So the most recent price action, right, seems to be bullish in a way, right? So where do I think price wants to buy into before selling off on the 4-hour time frame? We should see price reacting off this level, 1.35494. We should see one more push rather to 1.35494 before the sell-off all the way to our various points of interest. Please take note of this price action and price points rather that we're calling out our various points of interest, so that once that plays out, you're right on time to take opportunities. You could even place pending orders so that the market doesn't leave you. On Euro USD, the weekly time frame, nothing has really changed, caught up in a range. We should see price eventually breaking out of that range to trade all the way to 1.06856. It's taking its sweet time, of course, because this is the weekly time frame, and our long-term projection is for price to sell all the way into that level. However, on the daily time frame, price has already tapped into this left shoulder and we're seeing some reaction, stalling in a way, but we should see some momentum in the market moving forward for price to trade all the way, clear out this low at 1.31398 and eventually trade into 1.06856. Our point of interest from the weekly time frame. If you go to the 4-hour time frame, let's see what the 4-hour time frame has for us. Right. On the 4-hour time frame, we're looking out for a buy to sell. So we want to see price trade into 1.16211, gain strength from off that level and buy all the way into, let's see if we can spot where price wants to buy all the way into on the 1-hour time frame. Right, so it even coincides rather with our markup from before our time frame. We want to buy off all the way. We want to buy from 1.16211, right? Shoulder sweep break, and we want to buy all the way into this level. I beg your pardon. We want to buy all the way into 1.17297, right? So once price gets into this left shoulder for a buy, I'm willing to pull the trigger. I beg your pardon. I'm willing to pull the trigger and buy all the way again into 1.17305. With that being said, that's the end of my own session. Let's look at what price is doing, what the market is doing on the synthetic side of things. And look on what's the market doing on the synthetic side of things.
Good morning, Cynthia. Well done. Happy New Week and Happy New Month to you and everyone. And very new month to everyone following us online. Thank you very much. All right, for the synthetic market, we've had a lot of markups. The past few weeks has been kind of quiet. However, in the course of the weekend, most of our markups, our setups are being triggered in the course of the weekend. And it's been a very good one because some have delivered, one has delivered, while others just triggered this morning, and one is still pending. So with that, I'll be starting very quick with V75 1S this morning. Looking at V75 1S, remember our markups, what we are expecting to see moving forward. First, we want to see price, still sell all the way back down into the level it took up from that it did not really tap into, which is this POI that we are seeing on the 4-hour time frame. So we expect that this move would tap into that level, but it did not. However, we see how it's push all the way to the upside, and we are expecting more sales for price to come and tap proper into that level. So remember, on Friday we had two markups: the premium setup and the low probability setup, of which the low probability setup was triggered on Friday around that 6 p.m. or so, and we see what really moved on there. You see that entry on our 1-hour time frame. Yes, this is it on our 15-minute time frame. Rather, you can see it, our simple boss pattern. So if you check the 1-hour time frame, you are going to see how our price actually printed out our entry clean and clear. What we were waiting for, all we were waiting for on that Friday was price to come and tap into this fair value gap and this other block that we have here, coinciding with the shoulder here, and you can see price tapped into that level, and it delivered into yesterday. Okay, so that is that. After doing our 1:3, we are out of the game, of which I'm still of the opinion probability, if you are still in and you want to follow it all the way down, we may see some level of struggle with price when price gets to this particular zone that we have here. There's high probability we see some tussle here, because we call this particular trade as a low probability one, because where price still has high tendency of trading all the way. Price still has high tendency of trading all the way into this particular setup that we have here, because this is the premium level we expect price to come into and want to ride it all the way down. Okay, so be very careful and watch out if you've not closed your own entry for this move that is about to play out. Okay, that is that for 75 1S. For V75, also remember, on V75 for almost a week now, we've been waiting for price to come and trade into this POI that we have here marked out here. Remember, this is our shoulder that we have marked out here, and you can see how the price came and tapped into it a few hours ago. For those who have not joined the trade, this is the right time. If you want to join, you can easily join right now for the buy of V75. So we expect price to come and tap into this zone, then we see the buy move all the way to the upside, of which we've also seen that this is going to be our stop loss, because we've seen the sweep of liquidity break, and we expect price to come back, which that's exactly what price has done for us right now. Okay, so moving forward for V75, this is the entry, and we've seen our price has tapped into it and now is buying. So we expect more volatility. But in case you've not joined and you want to join, this is the right time. Or peradventure, you want to wait and say, oh, I want to see price get into the new lower time frame structure that has been formed, and if that is what you are waiting for, then you may want to see price tap into this particular zone here, which I doubt if price is going to take that out. If that is going to happen, I mean price coming to take out this liquidity inducement rather that we have here, but I doubt. And at the same time, this is also another shoulder for you to trade, and of which I doubt if price will do that. But let's wait and see if price will do that. But this, where price is currently, is a good place to join us if you want to follow through with V75 in this buy. Okay, so that is that for V75, and a quick one to V15 too. So for VIX 15, we also have a markup since Friday that we have pending order there, which was triggered also early this morning. Remember the setup on the this time frame on VIX 15 1S. So if you look at it clearly from 2 hour level, you can see this is the shoulder which was marked out there, and even from the 4 hour we see the order block very strong at that region, and that was where price tapped into, and we are beginning to see the sell-off moving. So all things being equal, we look forward to doing our 1:3 with this particular trade, particularly for price to come and take out this liquidity at this low here. So I expect price to take out this liquidity even if it's going to push further back to the upside. So that is that for this 15 1S moving forward. And lastly, as we have this 91S2, that is yet to tap into our POI. Remember, we have a level we marked out on Friday too for this 91S, which is price coming. This is the shoulder, but at the same time, we have our liquidity level here that should be taken out. So that is why we are waiting for this buy to buy all the way and take out that level. And when buy takes out this liquidity level, then we can now begin to sell all the way back to the downside. So that is that for this week on the synthetic indices for V75 1S, V75, V15 1S, and V90 1S. Once again, make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. All right, I'm Lekon Shiemi. Right now, we'll be going into the analysis of the indices market to know what are the opportunities for this week as it's been so far, so that we all can jump on it as we proceed. All right, bringing us that is going to be Demola. All right, good morning, Demola.
Good morning, Lekon. Thank you so much for that analysis on synthetic. I believe anybody active with deriv would make some good money this week already. All right. So looking at the market with indices, at the indices side of things, we have a beautiful start of the week using US 30 as the first bet to be analyzed this morning. We can see on the monthly time frame, we've recovered from all drawdown we had last month. It's a new month, it's a fresh month. I'm looking at the monthly close, right, and see what we had. This was in March. March was very chaotic, right? And Iran and Israel combined with US military force, we're having their moments in the market, and then we saw that tank to the downside. And then April came with recovery, although not smooth, but then some form of rally to help us pushing the effect of whatever it is happened, and then that gave us a beautiful engulfing candle, even on the monthly time frame, signifying very clearly that we are bullish, right? And I've been mentioning that. And then, of course, we had May that tapped into that order block, a bit dig into it, just minor, and then we saw the retracement the continuation, to the upside, giving us a clear-cut signal that we are bullish. So what do I expect for this month of June? I expect the rally to continue, right? We are moving to the next quarter point level. The next quarter point level looks like 55,000, although that's an ambitious target, but then that is where we see as the next point of possibility in the market. All right. Okay. Give me a sec. Let me use an horizontal line. Okay. 55,000. That's the next quarter point level that looks valid from what we have, right? So from 50,000, the saw price got to 51,000. Of course, in the meantime, on the monthly time frame, we're looking at it from an intraday time frame. Then we want to look at price heading for 51,500, right? On a day-to-day basis, 1 hour time frame kind of basis, 51,500. If you want to scalp and do all of that relating to the market. Okay, that being said, on the monthly time frame, we've seen like the overall perspective of what we have and what we're looking forward to seeing on the monthly time frame. The weekly time frame, you can see also clearly price has broken structure, right? We broke structure and then a bit also kind of tested that level, right? Okay, we have this here. Price has broken structure. Look at how many weeks it took us for us to finally break this level, but then we finally did it. Interestingly, we've done it. So what happens next is I'm looking for some form of retracement, right, for price to continue what it has begun already, or it has started. Okay, so we have this fair value gap that's not been tested before. I believe price would as well just tap into it very, very quickly. This fair value gap, we might even see a rejection from it though. The price will just reject into this zone and then continue its direction, continue its original direction. That's a possibility. On the daily time frame, what do we have? What we have on the daily time frame is very clear and obvious. Price actually dug into the level, right? Price actually dug into this level, and then we've seen that form of retracement already. All right, look at what we have here now. On the daily time frame, we have this order block that has not been tested before, right? So my concern now with this top-down analysis is price have every tendency to come into this order block. Okay, come into this order block, probably 50% of this order block, and then continue in its original direction, right? Price continue its original direction. For somebody that is looking at, I don't have time for all of this drama, trading intraday and all of that. They can really just hold this to our next quarter point level. That's 55,000. Although it might take them months because their analysis was made on the monthly time frame. But then we're looking at 1:17, right? And so this is also a possibility for somebody looking at overall direction of the market, and then you're just looking forward to being in the flow, right? Natural flow of the market. Then this is one kind of setup you want to look at. All right, but of course, we know that we have to go to the lower time frame just so we're able to refine our position. Looking at this other block on the daily time frame, it's a morning star, right? Or is evening star, we call this now. And then it's a morning star candle, and then one price followed by a very strong bullish candle. I expect this to continue. I expect the rally to continue, right? And then, but then we can see a retest of this zone. It's not bad if we see a retest of this zone, but then I expect the rally to continue effectively, right? That being said, on the 4-hour time frame, what do we have? What do we have on the 4-hour time frame? Then I'm seeing things like box strategy, like a sweep. I've seen price sweep through all of this, and then this zone is actually valid. My only concern is that price has actually tested the other block. I wish it hasn't, and then we can be super sure that we are coming back into this other block to test it and then continue the bullish movement. Notwithstanding, we'll still look at every possibility in this market, right? Looking at every possibility in this market, the same thing here on the 1 hour time frame, a classic box pattern that's been tested, sweep of this low, and then this other block has been tested by this other block, right? But then let's dig further, and if we dig further and we don't see anything, then we can now start looking for other area of interest that might not have been mitigated, right? Okay, all the areas around this zone has been mitigated. The only zone that looks as though it has not been mitigated is this one here, right? You have price sweeping through all of this liquidity and then giving us an order block that has not been tested. We have a rally to the upside. Then we can as well just mark this out, right? And wait for price to come into the zone, right? And then we can now, from this, start buying to the upside, because by the time you scan through all of this, you see that price have tapped into most of the areas. The only area that is looking very valid till now is this, which is still inside the zone. So it's not far fetched from our analysis. We just want price to retrace into this, and then we'll continue our bullish movements to the upside. I hope this makes sense for us all. All right, that being said, moving quickly into NAS. The same analysis on NAS. Look at the daily, the monthly time frame. We are very, very, very bullish, guys. We are bullish, right? Bullishness is what the market is currently doing. All right, on the, oh no, that's not monthly time frame. This monthly time frame. Look at the kind of candle we have. These two strong bullish candles, the month of April and May. I expect the rally to continue even much more in June. Why? Because, of course, stocks, dividends, earning, financial reports, all of that will be a driver. Number two is that US, Iran, and everybody, they're going to have proper deal, and then we'll move past all of the drama that happened in February and March, right? So that would be the major driver as to the market, recovering and being on a bullish movement. All right, that being said, if we've missed these two rallies, right, in terms of not having where to enter from, then you know very clearly that we just wait for a retracement. We don't have to wait for a retracement, price retracing a bit to the downside, and then we use that to enter the market. All right, let's look at 5 minutes for this chart. Earlier, before I came on board, I was just looking at the market again and then scouting for box pattern on even lower time frame so we could take trade. And to be honest, nothing is on this chart for now as regards box pattern. We just want to ensure that probably waiting into New York session or even tomorrow, we would see some form of box pattern. Unlike US 30 and S&P 500, that there's a clear-cut box pattern. For this, there isn't. So, no problem. We'll just be patient, and then by the end of New York or end of London into New York, more price action, we might see a clear box pattern we would use to take trades in this market. Moving very quickly to S&P 500, will be this setup I have. Also, the same, just is the same frame from the monthly time frame to the weekly to the daily, but on US 500, that's S&P 500, you have a form of box pattern here, which I'm expecting price to dig into, right? And then from that zone, we'll now, continue our bullishness. In fact, I'm seeing also a sell box pattern here. It's just that the market is extremely bullish now. right? A counter trade here, a counter trade here, which is very valid because we will still see some form of retracement. It's just that I don't know how far price is willing to dig into all of this, right? So price coming into this zone, I expect a sell, right? Pure sell to the downside into this level. So I'm looking at both setup, just being careful which one I want to engage, right? If for any reason price comes here before 1 o'clock, 1:30, 3 p.m., and then probably we get here by the time is 9:05, price which repriced came reversed into this place by say 10:30, then I can take the sell to the downside into 12, 1:30 and the rest, because I know by New York we'll see a rally, right? And then that would send the market to the upside. So it's a bit of counter trading with intuition, with a mix of market observation, right? So technical is very bullish. We are not in doubt of that. On the daily time frame, on the weekly time frame, on the 4-hour time frame. However, because we know that retracement is also expected, the market doesn't just move in one direction. We can take advantage of this minor movement on 5 minutes, and then probably 1:3, 1:4, and you're quickly out of the market. All right. That being said, any other setup we are seeing is going to be sent to the group. Ensure you are active in the community and you take advantage of this analysis we are giving. All right, over to the last person for today. I believe you're expecting already commodity market. Abigail, what's happening with the commodity markets? A new month, a new week already. Over to you.
Thank you, Demola. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the VFT Market Color sessions hosted twice a week, and the live market sessions are going to be dropping in the Telegram community group. So moving quickly into commodity currencies, starting with AUD/USD, we'd like to see the opportunities that are presenting themselves and how we can make some money from this market. Okay. Now, on the 4 hours time frame, we started this analysis on Friday. We marked our certain level point, and we said we're going to do a fresh analysis today to see what the market is doing, and that's exactly what we're looking at right now. AUD/USD is still predominantly to the upside. However, we saw the change of character that happened here. When price here was supposed to give us a higher high, continue giving us those characteristic patterns we want to see for a buy scenario, there was a break below. So change of character, this is looking like a confirmatory break of structure that we'll have here when this session, or this level rather, gets broken through right here. So looking at this now, I'm expecting price to eventually sell, especially with the fact that we have this sunshine indicator printed right here, which is our profit taking indicator. So I'm expecting a temporary sell, a retracement, or an eventual reversal of this entire trend. On the 1 hour time frame, you'd see that we already marked out our points of interest. Okay, we've already marked out our point of interest on the 1 hour time frame, and they are here. The first POI is 0.71592, already marked out, basically saying that price should eventually sell back into the zone. You'd also see that all the indicators here are kind of intertwined together. So this is a major point of interest for me. This is a previous resistance that could also act as what current support. So price, give me a sell into this zone. And if you break through, I'm looking at more sell opportunities into the next major support level, which is going to be either here or here. Moving to the 5 minute time frame now, we also marked out our sessions, our level of the session, POI 1, POI 2, 3, and 4, right? These are basically support and resistance levels that should hold. So I'm going to call it out so you have this in mind as well. 0.71684. Second one is 0.71498. The third one is 0.70979, right? So these are the levels I'm looking at. I'm saying price is going to sell. All things being equal, you should violate this and trade. This is where I even think price could find a major support at. But if you break through all of this zone, we're looking at more sell pressures for this asset class. So now it's also possible that price is going to buy from where it currently is, because remember, the market can give us a bigger push to the upside before we see that sell happen. It's very, very likely. For now, we're waiting to see. There's going to be a buyback though from here trade back into this momentum or even the next resistance level and then continue to sell. If you do differently, we're going to be watching accordingly and reacting to what the market is doing. Now, remember I said that NZD-USD sell is something I'm looking out for because it is even clearer than AUD-USD. You see how price gave us a sunshine indicator print here. So I'm expecting a sell because the gap between where the sunshine was printed and where my retracement level is quite far. This is it. So we saw this on Friday. Price has already delivered some money already from this market and it is still selling forward. I'm saying price should sell into this zone. That's the 5-minute POI. I'm going to show you that shortly, or trade all the way into my momentum indicator or my pullback indicator all the way down here. Now, I understand that all of us have these indicators. I totally understand. These indicators are made available for students of the VFT Academy. So if you'd like to have these indicators, just sign up for our classes and you'll be able to use them as well. But for now, take note of the price points I'm calling out and put it on your Nikkei chart and add your confluence to it. So price is going to sell. My point of interest one is right here, and my second point of interest is right here on the 1 hour time frame. Going down to the 5-minute time frame now, I'm seeing multiple confirmation entries for this sell I was watching out for. You see how price started to sell, came back to retest this zone, selling, came back to retest. I know that when we go on the 1-minute time frame, we would have seen multiple confirmations for this sell to resume. See where our first entry was when there was a break and a retest here. So this is where we would have entered this market if we were a bit earlier to the charts. It has done about 18 to 19 pips, right? So right now, price is still selling and it is still very much valid. This is where my next major resistance to support zone is in confluence with my trend indicator. So I'm interested in stacking. This is not for everybody, please. It's for those of us who have done the stacking style of trading a while, right? So from here to here is where I'm going to be taking a quick sell. Give me this day my daily bread for NZD-USD before we see the retracement and then eventually watch to see if it's going to break through this zone, and this zone. So yes, my bias for NZD-USD is a temporal sell-off. Predominantly though, it is still a buy move because price can come back here and start to buy. Same thing for AUD-USD. My bias for this week, AUD-USD following the 4 hours trend is also a buy, temporarily selling it into my major points of interest, which is what I just called out. So these sales are counter trades. When price taps into our point of interest, we are watching out for confirmations that allow us to continue to buy this asset class. If those confirmations are not printed, then we'll know that these change of characters we saw on these asset classes are going to hold. And then finally, looking at USD CAD on the 4 hours time frame, what do we see? On the 4 hours time frame of USD CAD, price is also buying. Look at this most recent price action. It's been breaking structure points to the upside, traded into the key zone around here, which is where we saw that reaction downward. So price sold, traded into our point of interest. Remember, I marked this out during our last session. This was a key support level, and I said USD CAD is going to start to buy from there. Surely it delivered on Friday and also continued to deliver the early hours of today. So USD CAD for me is still majorly a buy. Go to the 5-minute time frame now. On the 5-minute time frame, this is how it's been buying. The only place I have resistance that I'm watching out for is here. And that is, let me call the specific price point for all of us, 1.38289 and 1.38670. So if price breaks through this zone, best believe that USD CAD buy is back in full force. However, if it doesn't hit resistance here, gives confirmation that this resistance level is going to hold, what's going to happen? USD CAD sell is going to continue. If you just trade here and then give us a deeper sell from where it currently is, all the way back into our pullback indicator, or even down here, our trend indicator, which is at 1.37164. So we'll be watching to see what the market does. I believe you'd also be doing the same thing. Let us make some change from the market this week. And yeah, so once again, thank you so much for joining this session. I look forward to seeing us during the next session. And for those of us who are joining strictly on YouTube, I look forward to seeing you in the Market Color Telegram community. With that being said, thanks again. See you next time. Cheers and God bless.